Wow, another buff yet again, huh? They just keep on coming, dude. Again, I was expecting the next buff to be next week with the Last Spell 3 recap, but no. I guess they didn't want to bring us 5 buffs in one day, so they waited a few days for give us the next one. And today we only have this one buff, but again, it definitely fits the theme, I suppose. We already got Welfare BB buffed in the first wave, and now we get the summer version buffed. Some people were wanting to see her among them as well. I'm now even more mad Jinako wasn't buffed, and I can only pray she gets buffed in LB4 recap at this point, but it is what it is. But yeah, it's another skill buff, and I can already say again, it's a pretty good one for sure. This one is pretty much spot on if you ask me. If they ever give her at this point an MP buff, I think she's gonna be insane. But yeah, here we're today obviously going to talk about this skill right here. This will hopefully be a short segment anyway. So here we go, BB Subber on the wiki, and it's the first skill. Again, I like much like with the welfare one, I said self-mod is always a fine skill. It's a good crit skill, definitely above average. So again, much like with the previous buffs, they didn't touch any of the old stuff. The crit damage remains the same, the absorb remains the same, the cooldown, but they added stuff, so let's see what they added. Hey, it's not a battery. How about that? Now, first of all, she also now gets for 3 turns up to 30% attack. Now, this is really good for many reasons. Biggest reason of them all is because she doesn't have an attack up in her kit, and which means it's much better because it's another buff that just multiplies in effectiveness. And the other big reason is that she can now buster farm even better because none of the buster farm supports offer an attack up. So that's always an ideal to have on your buster farmers. It just adds quite a bit of damage. So that's great. But they also added a second thing. So much like with the OG Welfare, who got an extra attack buff, the OG gives to your team 10% gauge when she uses her extra. Summer over here gets 20 stars. Now, when the OG buff happened, people were saying this should be on the Summer one, because we all know she has the very unique third skill, which allows her to lock command cards, right? For 3 turns, unless someone dies or you shuffle, obviously then, you know, it ruins it. But yeah, you can keep the same cards like this. So it obviously makes a lot more sense and is even better on the summer version because you can much easier plan for this stuff. Makes for some even better setups with her as well, especially if you use her as the DPS now, because again, it's her extra attacks. It's not like a targeted skill or anything. But yeah, that effect also lasts for 3 turns, by the way. So can we just talk about how insane this skill is now, first of all? On a 5-turn cooldown, you get a very decent chunk of crit damage, absorb, attack, and this nutty star bomb on extra. Amazing uptime on great buffs. Like, it's just a god tier skill now, for sure. It's very much like the welfare one. Both are just absolutely amazing skills now, so... And yeah, good thing to note that this is already up to 10 stars per turn. So you can potentially have like max stars rolling in. And obviously, because she can do buster farming, it's easier to Brave Chain with her, because obviously you can count the MP as one of the cards. But with the card lock, it's not the most relevant thing anyway. But again, it is easier, because normally if you're going to go into like a challenge quest with her, right, you would prefer to have that those cards ready immediately. But because she can spam her MP with some of the buster supports, you don't have to reset until you get like a triple full like cards on your hand for her, because one of the cards is already going to be your MP. So it's a bit easier on the resets. It's still a bit awkward, because again, you do want to start with that if possible. So resets may be included, but it's not as hard as it might seem to get like a hand that just works, you know, for stuff like that. What an amazing buff, let's be real. Again, if they ever buff the MP, she will be broken. Now, again, for challenge quest is great, but let's talk about farming, because she is still someone who is capable of buster looping, right? The sheet has been updated again. So if you're wondering why this is the same setup with different numbers, is the top one in the BB row is what her damage used to be in the double Koyan setup before the buff, right? It wasn't great, as you can see. Obviously, this is neutral damage, but still, it wasn't really that good. Mostly because Moon Cancer also isn't that great of a class, because you're mostly going to be hitting neutral anyway. So if you're one of these classes that's mostly going to be hitting neutral in your farm anyway, you gotta have like big numbers to be able to do farming, right? Now though, if you take a look at the direct comparison, the numbers just, they like multiply in every wave. The first wave, not the biggest difference obviously, but once more and more buffs come in, you can see there's quite a drastic difference with just the fact that she got that attack buff. Like, again, it really matters a lot for buster farming setups. You gotta understand, it really makes a difference for sure. Even if it's only 30%, it does make a significant bump. And because hers is on a 5-turn cooldown, meaning you can actually basically get it back from Koyan's cooldown reduction, so you can stack it in a battle as well, which further makes it even better. Now, you can also include Oberon for more damage. This is also difference, you know, ignore what I said earlier. This is also a comparison of pre and post buff. Here especially, you can see a difference as well. But I still don't think she's gonna be like a god tier buster farmer, especially because she still has this hefty requirements of the super scope or the K scope plus append. But she's another yet very, very solid choice for farming, and of course it makes her much better in challenge quests as well. Now, I did have her at B+ in my extra tier list. Now, this was a very heated topic when I did my tier list, because a lot of people said I put her too low, but I was still okay with it. Now, obviously, I will bump her up here, definitely. So now the question is, which of the A's will I choose? Like, if I think about it, if I was too harsh on her, she might deserve the A+ now, or I might just give her the A here. I'm still not sure, because I'm still on the fence with OG Welfare BB as well, whether I want to place her in A or A+. I'm kind of similar here as well. I feel like if you have MP2, then you're definitely looking at A+. Then her damage against neutral on farm is actually good, and it's good enough for most nodes, right? But I feel like on MP1, because she still lacks that MP buff, which would make her insane if she ever got that, I feel like I might just keep her in A, but it's still a bump from what I had her before, I suppose. So yeah, TLDR, she's now considerably better on challenge quests and quite a bit better on farming as well. Depending on if she ever gets an MP buff, if they go really insane with this, which I don't really see them doing, she could even land in EX, to be honest, if they add some really broken effects with the MP as well. But yeah. But if you have like MP2 or higher, I can understand A+ easily. I'll just leave her here for now. So there you go. I think I rambled on quite a bit as well, but yeah, it's a great buff. I like it. I'm obviously salty that Jinako is still ignored, but I can't hate this buff. It's a good buff. I'm sure all the BB fans remain to be extremely happy with this mini event, huh? Anyway, if you enjoyed it, please do me a solid and press the thumbs up button. Helps out a lot. And I'll probably do another one of these next week as well, since we should be getting LB3 buffs. So hopefully something cool. I'm hoping for Shan Yu. And stay tuned, a lot of videos, especially relating to Castoria, so definitely don't miss out on that. It should be very fun and something you can also benefit from. Have a great rest of your day. All right, peace out.